Hello. I'm today going to give some discussion of the Benjamin Trail NP 22 caliber pellet gun, one which I purchased from Amazon for about $140. This is in June of 2015. Like you, if you are looking at this YouTube video, I looked at the reviews, Pyramid, air guns, all of the videos that were on it, and at best your conclusion has to be, wow, there is quite a difference in what people think. Some claim it's great, perfect, wonderful. Others that it's not that good. It's like all the other Crosman Springers, inaccurate and overrated. Well, on the YouTube you'll find lots of ratings of pellets showing their accuracy, that sort of stuff. But at the bottom line, it's not the pellets, it's the gun. Several of the problems with the Crosman brand of Crosman / Benjamin guns are, as everyone knows, an awful trigger, unbelievably bad, long pull, real harsh. They're aftermarket fixes, but I really believe that Crosman Benjamin must have an interest in the aftermarket sales, because the trigger should have been fixed long ago. Everyone says that. And otherwise, good gun is a piece of crap because of this trigger. Initially, the gun will shoot, as my old Quest did, with a virtual shotgun scatter. The instructions tell you that you need to break it in. Comment to Crosman, break the damn things in before you sell them. They say it will take 100 shots. I've read, and you've read, it'll take upwards of 1,000 shots. In the tests that I did, as we'll discuss in a minute, I had approximately 300 to 600 rounds before the accuracy came in better than a 410 scatter gun. The other big complaint is the scope. The center point scope that's loaded on the NP Trail, and I think most of the NP and the quote Benjamin brands, is really quite a nice looking scope. It's got a lot of features. I had one on the Quest I had before and thought it was a piece of trash, as most people think these center points are, but as I'll include, I think it's more than the scope. I think it's just basically the gun. What I have here is, I'm not going to show you a bunch of shooting going on, I'm just going to show you results. These are some targets. Number one was shot. They're all shot at 44 feet, accurately measured. This was with the Benjamin Trail and a Leaper scope, the Leaper's UTG 4-32. It's a good scope. I've had it on my Benjamins, I put it on the Quest, and I really like it. It held real well. This was after I threw the center point that came with the Quest in the trash. The next one is the Benjamin Trail NP 22 cal with the center point optics that comes with it. And finally, for comparison purposes, here's my old 60-year-old plus Benjamin 312 22 caliber pump gun, 10 rounds of the same Crosman pellets. I'm using the Premier hollow points on all these shots. Little discussion about each one. As you can see here, this is after 270 rounds of quote break-in. The scatter is still mighty wide. A squirrel at 44 feet probably has a good chance of making it out. And with these flyers like this one here, it's pretty scary. This is with the Leaper scope, which is really a good scope on this gun. The next one is the center point optics, same gun, and while there is a broader amount of scatter, you can see compared to the dime, the grouping is wide. It can't be improved much more. I used a gun mount, this Caldwell thing that I modified, and had a very stable shooting platform for this test. Finally, the Benjamin. This is really telling. There are 10 pellets lodged in this area. I had one that I knew was a flyer. That would be this one here. There are 6 pellets in this area. 2 clicks down and 2 clicks left. Put this gun right on the center point, and it'll clean out the hole in the center of the target. The conclusion is, if you could find an old Benjamin, or if Crosman would make guns like the Benjamin series of pumps, you'd have a good pellet gun. These babies may be okay, and maybe with another 500 pellets, if you can survive that long, you might be able to pull the grouping in a little better. The conclusions I have after this test is the Benjamin Trail NP, a pretty gun, well designed. The scope has tremendously versatile features on it. The trigger is awful. Any company worth its salt would have fixed this ages ago. Break-in period is ridiculously long. They claimed 100 pumps, 100 shots. I saw people, as you have too, claimed at least 1,000 shots was needed to pull it in. Finally, the scope, the center point scope, is probably okay, but mounted on a gun that throws pellets all over the place, it's going to look crappy. So I think center point's getting a bad name, and if they're a Crosman product, they ought to fix it for their own benefit. The bottom line here is you can try all the different pellets you want to try. The scatter like this, it's only going to get worse. Some pellets may be better, but simple old Benjamin, or excuse me, Crosman hollow point premier pellets, it'll cost 2 cents a piece, will shoot a pretty good group if they're in a good gun. People are buying the pre-charged pneumatics, and I guess the 392 Benjamin pump may be okay. I don't trust it though, being made in China. There are various reports on that. So, bottom line, pays your money and takes your chances. The problem is with the guns, it's not with the scope. You better fix the gun first, then worry about your scope. The problem's with the gun, it's accuracy first, not with the pellets. Fix the gun and you may be able to hit a squirrel. I think those great shots of a bird being taken out at 100 yards were taken after about 500 shots, and the guy finally got lucky, because with guns shooting like this, I don't know what to tell you. Mine went back to Amazon, and perhaps as they recycle the thing, the next fellow that buys it will have one that's had 500, 700 rounds run through it, and he may be rating it as outstanding. But it's not worth my arm, time, or trouble. Crosman, fix your cotton pick and trigger, and maybe you'll have a decent gun.